What if I told you that the one supplement that, looks like plain white salt in a big plastic tub,
The one that's been on every gym shelf since the 90s.
that exact one? What if I said it's secretly a turbocharger for not just your muscles, but your brain too, and it's backed by, get this, over 500 controlled trials?
You'd probably think we got a big check from a supplement company.
Huh, right.
But the thing is, the science really does validate the hype on this one. We are talking about creatine monohydrate.
And its status in exercise science is, well, it's pretty much unmatched.
It really is.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our mission today is simple. We're giving you a shortcut.
We've waded through the huge body of research on creatine.
And we're pulling out the actionable intelligence. We are separating the locker room rumors from the actual hard science.
So you, the listener, can get it. You can understand exactly how it works, why it works, and what the very latest research says about how you should be taking it.
And if there's one single takeaway for right now, it's this.
Creatine monohydrate is, and this is a direct quote from the literature, one of the most extensively researched and efficacious dietary supplements in exercise science. It's a category leader for a very, very good reason.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Let's do it.
Because before we talk about gains and strength numbers that sound, frankly, a little too good to be true, we have to understand the engine. How does this super simple white powder actually manage to fuel us?
So it's basically a rapid response energy buffer. Think of it like your body's emergency power generator.
Okay.
When you do something really high intensity, explosive, like a final sprint or a heavy set of squats.
Right, that 6 to 30-second window.
Exactly. Your main energy currency, which is ATP, it breaks down really fast into ADP, and then you're spent. You've hit a wall.
And that feeling, that intense burn when you just can't do one more rep, that's your cellular wallet being empty.
Precisely. To keep going, you need to regenerate that ATP, like, instantly.
And that's where creatine comes in.
That's where it comes in. Creatine monohydrate provides the raw material. Inside the muscle cell, it binds with phosphate to form something called phosphocreatine, or PCR.
So PCR is kind of like the fast pass lane for energy at the cellular level.
That is a perfect analogy. The PCR immediately donates its phosphate group back to that spent ADP.
And boom.
And boom, you have fresh ATP. This system is the dominant energy source for all those powerful, explosive activities. It literally buys you those extra crucial seconds of force.
But wait, our bodies already make creatine, right? So how much of a difference can a scoop of powder really make?
And that's the wow factor. It's huge. The research shows that supplementation boosts your resting muscle creatine stores by 10 to 40%.
Whoa, hold on. 10 to 40%.
10 to 40. That is a massive jump in your energy capacity. It's like upgrading your car's fuel line from a garden hose to a fire hose.
Okay, so a 10 to 40% bigger fuel tank. But is the benefit just about that explosive energy, or is it also, telling the muscle to actually grow?
It is absolutely both, and this is what's so fascinating. Creatine also activates muscle protein synthesis. It does this by upregulating this crucial anabolic switch.
Okay, I see a technical term coming.
Yeah, it's called the mTORP70S6K signaling pathway.
All right, for those of us who aren't reading biochemistry textbooks for fun, what is the mTOR pathway?
Think of mTOR as the construction foreman on your muscle cell factory floor.
I like that.
It takes in signals from nutrients, from growth factors, and when creatine upregulates it, it's basically slamming the go button. It tells the cell to ramp up production and start building new muscle.
So it's not just fuel.
No, it's an instruction manual for growth. It optimizes the whole environment for hypertrophy.
The mechanism makes perfect sense. Crystal clear. But, as always on this show, we care about the results.
The output.
How does that cellular turbocharge actually translate when you hit the gym floor?
The translation is transformative. Let's look at the foundational review. It synthesized 22 different resistance training studies. It showed that the creatine groups had an average 8% greater increase in muscle strength compared to placebo.
8% is a real difference. That's not trivial in any strength sport.
Right. Not at all. And then look at volume, which is so key for growth. The creatine users completed 14% more repetitions at a given weight.
14% more reps. That's huge.
It is. We're talking real, measurable performance enhancement. We see these strength improvements across the board with bench press 1-rep max increases ranging from 3% all the way up to a staggering 45%.
Wait, a 45% potential increase on your bench? That takes someone from just a regular gym goer straight into serious lifter territory.
Well, it really speaks to the huge variability in how different people respond, which we can get into.
Okay.
But the efficacy is just undeniable. And it's not just for lifting. We saw short-term supplementing, just 6 grams a day for 5 days, enhanced anaerobic sprint performance by 18% in triathletes.
So it gives you that final kick at the end of a race.
That crushing burst of speed, exactly.
Okay, let's hit the big one. The question everyone asks, does this stuff actually build muscle, or am I just gloating myself with water weight?
The definitive answer is, it builds muscle. And we have a really powerful recent data set to prove it.
Tell me about it.
It's a comprehensive meta-analysis from 2025. It looked at 61 controlled trials, almost 1,500 people.
And it found.
It confirmed that creatine, when you combine it with resistance training, significantly increased fat-free mass by an average of 1.39 kilograms.
That's over 3 pounds.
Over 3 pounds of verifiable, measurable lean tissue.
So that really puts the whole "it's just water weight" myth to bed. The initial water gain is one thing, but this is showing over a kilogram of real muscle.
It absolutely does.
Okay, the efficacy is overwhelming. But if you go on any fitness forum online, there is this fierce debate about the best way to take it.
The great dose debate.
Let's dive into that. Let's start with that initial water retention.
Right, the elephant in the room. But here's the thing. It's not a bug, it's a feature.
How so?
You see that initial weight gain, maybe 0.5 kilo to 1.5 kilos in the first week or two. That's just creatine's osmotic property. It's pulling water into the muscle cells.
And why is that a good thing?
Because it increases cell volume. That cellular swelling might be an anabolic signal all by itself. It's basically telling the muscle cell, hey, we're full of resources, now's the time to grow.
Interesting.
Yeah, a landmark study way back in '95 showed the biggest spike in total body water, about 1.37 liters, happened in that first week. It's controlled, targeted hydration.
So it's cellular hydration that might actually help performance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do we get those cells saturated? The loading phase or slow and steady?
You've got 2 roads, both lead to the same place. The traditional loading phase is 20 grams a day for 5 to 7 days.
And then you drop down.
Then you drop to a maintenance dose of 3 to 5 grams a day. The huge advantage is speed. You are fully saturated in under a week.
The downside.
A higher chance of some mild GI upset for some people.
And what if you want to avoid any stomach issues?
Then you just do the maintenance-only approach. 3 to 5 grams every day from day 1.
Slower, but gentler?
Exactly. Minimal GI effects, but it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to hit that full saturation. Critically, though, both methods give you identical long-term benefits.
Okay, but this is where the science got really interesting recently.
Uh-huh.
We saw this incredibly rigorous trial from the University of New South Wales in 2025 that threw a huge wrench in that standard 5-gram protocol. What did they find?
It was a very specific, very nuanced finding. The UNSW researchers, they carefully separated the initial water weight gain from any true muscle growth that happened after that.
And they saw what?
They observed that in their group, once that initial hydration effect was done, the people taking the standard 5 grams a day maintenance dose, they gained no additional lean muscle mass compared to the placebo group.
Whoa. That seems to completely contradict the 1.4 kilograms of muscle gain we just talked about.
It does on the surface.
So why would 5 grams suddenly not be enough?
It raises this vital question about individual needs.
Mm.
The researchers hypothesized that the standard 5 grams might not be enough for maximal hypertrophy, especially in bigger people, people with more muscle to saturate.
So they might need more.
They suggested that maybe 10 grams a day might be what's needed for some people to keep their plasma levels high enough to continue building new muscle beyond that initial phase.
So we might be underdosing a big chunk of the population.
It's a really compelling argument that challenges decades of conventional wisdom, and if that wasn't complicated enough,
There's more.
there's the mystery of the non-responders, the 20 to 30% of people who just don't see that muscle creatine increase.
Why not? Are they just creatine proof?
A lot of them have naturally high baseline levels to begin with, so they start out nearly full. But what's really fascinating is a 2024 study on elite soccer players.
What did it find?
It linked how well you respond to specific genetic polymorphisms, genes like ACE, AMPD1, and ACTN3.
Okay, let's use an analogy for that.
Absolutely. Think of it like this. Some people's DNA just naturally builds them a huge storage tank for creatine. Others have a much smaller one.
Ah.
These genetic variations kind of dictate how well your body can transport and store it. If you have the small tank and you supplement, you see huge gains. If your tank is already naturally massive, adding more might not move the needle much.
That opens up a whole world of personalized dosing. But let's zoom out a bit.
Okay.
If you're listening right now and you're not a weightlifter, should you still care about this?
Oh, absolutely. We're moving creatine from the weight rack to the brain.
The neural benefits.
They are profound. A 2024 systematic review and meta-analysis found significant positive impacts on memory and attention.
So how does the cellular turbocharger help the central nervous system?
It's the exact same mechanism. It buffers ATP in the brain. Your brain is an incredibly energy-hungry organ.
Even at rest.
Especially at rest. So by improving energy availability, particularly when the brain is challenged like during sleep deprivation, high stress, or just with aging creatine, helps maintain peak cognitive function. It's optimizing neurobioenergetics.
That sounds critical for certain groups who might have lower reserves.
They see the biggest benefit. Vegetarians and vegans typically have 20 to 30% lower baseline creatine stores.
Because it's mostly in animal products.
Well, almost exclusively. So when they supplement, they often get this dramatic supercompensation response. They can reach or even exceed the levels of meat eaters. For our plant-based listeners, it's arguably a critical supplement.
And what about for older adults? What's the latest research on healthy aging?
The data there is incredibly positive for fighting sarcopenia, that age-related muscle loss.
Right.
A 2025 meta-analysis of 18 trials showed that for older adults, creatine plus resistance training led to the same 1.37 kilogram increase in lean tissue we saw in younger people. And crucially, it also improved functional capacity. Things like their performance on a chair rise test. It helps keep people strong and independent later in life.
Okay, we've established it works, and it works for a lot of different people.
I have.
Now we have to tackle the biggest hurdle to its acceptance, the safety myths. The ones that stick around, like the Millennium Falcon's faulty hyperdrive.
Let's start with the big one, kidneys.
The kidneys, yes.
This is the most persistent myth, and it needs a really strong clarification. When you take creatine, your blood levels of something called creatinine, with an IN on the end, they go up.
And why does that freak out some doctors?
Because creatinine is the main marker doctors use to test kidney function. So elevated creatinine from the supplement can be, and often is, misread as kidney dysfunction.
When it's not.
When it is not, it's just a harmless metabolic consequence of taking the supplement. It is not a sign of kidney damage.
So to be clear, high creatinine in a healthy person taking creatine does not equal kidney failure.
Absolutely not. The evidence here is extensive. The International Society of Sports Nutrition confirms, and I'm quoting, "No study of creatine use in healthy individuals has provided evidence of harm to kidney or liver function." Decades of research are clear on this.
But we have to add the caveat.
We absolutely must. Caution is warranted only if you have pre-existing kidney disease, diabetes, or uncontrolled hypertension. In those cases, you must talk to a doctor first.
But for a healthy person?
For the healthy individual, this myth has been definitively busted.
Okay, let's move to myth number 2. Dehydration and cramping. This one seems plausible, right? Because it pulls water into the muscle.
It seems plausible, but it's also been definitively refuted. In fact, studies show the opposite is true.
Really?
Yeah, research on NCAA Division I football and baseball players found that the creatine users had significantly less cramping and fewer heat illnesses than the non-users.
Well, that actually helps.
It seems to support thermoregulation by improving how your total body water is distributed. It's an asset in the heat, not a liability.
Okay, final myth. The hair loss rumor. Does creatine make you go bald?
This one. It's a rumor that comes from a single, unreplicated 2009 study. It showed increased DHT levels in one specific group of rugby players.
And it was never replicated.
Never. Multiple robust reviews since then state there is no direct evidence that creatine causes hair loss. Hair loss is, for the most part, a genetic condition. It's time to stop worrying about your hairline.
And if we are ready to buy, what form should we be looking for?
Stick with the gold standard. Creatine monohydrate.
Not the fancy, expensive stuff.
No, all the powerful stats we've discussed today. That's all for monohydrate. The other forms, ethyl ester, buffered, liquid, they have very limited or even no evidence of being better. Go the one that has 500+ trials behind it.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Let's boil it all down.
First, the efficacy is undeniable. This is not snake oil. It gives you measurable strength and power increases, plus verifiable lean mass gains, about 1.4 kilograms on average with training.
Second, the safety is sound, at least for healthy people. The big fears, especially kidney damage and cramping, they're myths. They have been thoroughly dismantled by years and years of good research.
And finally, it's not just for lifters. Creatine has robust, scientifically supported benefits for your brain, for older adults fighting sarcopenia, and it's especially useful for anyone on a plant-based diet.
So creatine monohydrate is a first-line, safe, and incredibly cost-effective supplement that provides real, measurable benefits across your lifespan.
Which brings us back to that really crucial nuance, the fact that some people are non-responders based on their genetics,
Right.
and that suggestion from the UNSW study that 5 grams might not be enough for everyone.
The 10-gram idea.
Exactly. So given all these individual differences, how long until genetic testing for creatine responsiveness moves from the lab to the supplement shelf? Tailoring our dose precisely to our DNA, making that whole 5 versus 10-gram debate obsolete.
That is a great provocative question to chew on.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
We'll be back next time, diving into the sources to bring you the knowledge you need. Subscribe to The Deep Dive, and we'll see you soon.